Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvadidam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. We welcome all the Sri Mahants, Mahants, Kotaris, Tanedars, Samajis, Satsangis, devotees, disciples, Balasanths, and visitors and viewers to this Vaakyaartha Sadhas conducted by the Balasanths of Nithyananda Gurukul. Today's topic is discussion about today's satsang. Now we will be chanting the third verse of Ishavasya Upanishad. Asuryana mate loka andhena tamasavritaha tagumste pretya bhigachanti ye kecha mahano janaha.
Okay, yesterday I had asked a question that if the concept of God truth or perception?
What I understand is God is beyond perception.
Okay, adding to what Vedadya Maharaj told, according to us, God is Shiva. Shiva being the space of Shiva is reality. So when the God itself is in reality, so concept of God is also beyond perception. It's not your perception.
Okay, I have a question. See, today in Satsang, Swamiji said all decisions against life are made from ignorance. How is that possible? Can you explain how?
Just adding to her question, can you also explain me what is ignorance?
What I feel is, as of now, we all are in the space of perception and facts. So what I feel is like perception is just like we are ignorant of the reality. The higher space, the higher space is reality. So, but we still don't know what reality is and all about reality. So we're ignorant about reality. So we are ignorant about life because we are still in the perception space. So what I feel is, and we take all our cognitions of life from the space of perception, not from reality. So what I feel is all decisions of our life is based on ignorance.
See, I have a story here. There'll be one group of blind men, and there'll be one elephant in the front. They'll heard that somebody is telling elephant in the front, and they'll go near the elephant, and they'll try to perceive how will they are all knowing how will the elephant look like, because they are blind. They can avoid seeing the elephant also. So they'll go near the elephant. Each one will touch one part of elephant. One person will touch the leg of the elephant, and he'll tell that is a basket, and one will touch a tail, and he'll tell that is a rope, and they will start to fight. They'll fight among themselves. No, this is a basket. This is a rope. So in that case, they went to ignorance. They say no to life by fighting to each other. But in the reality, if they decide to say yes to life, they can perceive, like they can see beyond the eyes, like blindfolding, so they can easily see the elephant. So that they started fighting.
But I still didn't understand what is ignorance.
Ignorance is basically thinking that there's nothing beyond your perception. There's no such thing as truth or reality. You think your perception is beyond everything, and you think your perception is the ultimate. That is being ignorant.
I have a question. So, isn't like life itself, what we think as life itself, isn't that perception? So, any decision we make for life, isn't that out of our perception?
What I feel is yes. As of now, in the space in which we are in, we only cognize from our perceptions, and we don't like move. Only very rarely we move to the space of fact and truth, but we never even cognize from the space of reality. So as of now, we are cognizing our life only from the space of perception.
Okay, I understood. Saying no to life is also like from ignorance, but Swami also told it's from unconsciousness also. What my question is, all of us have consciousness. How can we be unconscious?
What I feel is unconsciousness is, yes, we all have consciousness in us. Unconsciousness, what I feel is that whenever we take a decision in our life or whenever we act on things without saying yes to life, whenever we say no to life, and whatever decision happens, whatever decisions we take, and whatever actions we do based on the decision, that is when we are unconscious. So at that point, we are not forwarding in our life. Like it's not leading us to the space of completion. Whenever you say no to life and then you take a decision based on it, you're not going to be complete. So I feel that is the point where we are unconscious. So all these SDHD, other incompletions, bringing us to the space of powerlessness, all this is the time when we are unconscious is what I feel.
I have a question. Tattva Maharaj told, as of now, like we all perceive, like life is a perception in which state we are. Okay, I have a question then. Then even deciding for life, is it also out of our perception?
Just adding to our question, so does that also mean that if we decide for life, is there something that which is beyond our perception when we decide for life?
What I think is, because our purpose of life itself is only due to the perception, so even we deciding for life is only in perception. And moreover, we deciding for life is just it's only beyond perception. It is just flowing with our life.
I have a question. If deciding for life is out of perception, then how will it lead us to completion? How will it take us to the next level?
What I feel is when we decide itself to say yes to life, that time life itself guides us to completion.
So you mean if we are in the space of perception, we'll go into the space of completion?
According to me, what you can do most, what you can do most, even if you are in the perception, the whatever you can do when you do that, always cosmos will come and help you and guide you to reality.
Having a question about what Tattva Maharaj told. See, you told that we haven't cognized truth and reality completely, so we're all in ignorance. So even living in Advaita, living in the space of Shivoham, is that also from ignorance?
Living Advaita and is from the space of Shivam is from reality.
What I also feel is that, yes, there are so many people who are still in the space of perception. As they continue completing again and again and get into the space of completion, they are moved from from perception to fact. And then there is more completion taking place, then they move to truth. And then more completion, then they go to reality. So what I feel is, even when you are in perception, completion is possible, and that will lead you to the space of fact.
I have a question. Today in Satsang, Swamiji told that dana is the best way you can decide for life. Okay. But then, if a person, for him, what he feels as his purpose of life is having everything and enjoying, then if he decides to give dana, isn't that deciding against life for his purpose, like what he thinks as his purpose?
When you do dana, that only adds to your purpose. Because as Swamiji told today, whenever you do dana, whenever you share, that is only that is showered on you. Example, if you think that wealth is the ultimate purpose of your life and you do dana of wealth, you continuously give wealth to people, then that will be showered on you. So even if you do dana, that is also adding to your purpose of your life.
Adding to what Mangala Maharaj told, see, if you do annadana, that life energy of you is awakened. When you do Vaidya Dana, that life energy of you is awakened. See, Swami also give an example. Now, if you are a heart patient, if you are helping a person to cure his, if you are helping a person who has the same heart problem, and if you help him in getting cured by giving some money, your life energy in you will be awakened, and naturally your heart problem will go away from you. So that is also is you deciding for life.
So is that also a perception? Because because you said everything is from perception, even then doing dana and sharing is also perception.
I feel that, as Swamiji told in today's satsang, dana should be done from the context of saying yes to life. So I feel even if dana is done in the space of perception, even when a person is in perception, even if he does dana, when he says yes to life, he is automatically moved to the next space of fact, and then from there he moves to a space of truth and then reality. So I feel it's not only just dana, it is about even the context from which, when you constantly remember that by giving dana, I am saying yes to life. That time your life energy awakens and then moves you from perception to the fact, and then it goes on like that.
I have a question. See, Adinath Maharaj told when we do dana, our life energy gets awakened. Then, can you explain me what is life energy? And is life energy different from life? Like life and life energy, are they different?
Swamiji told in one satsang that your body is like a miniature hospital. Even if you're in the worst state of coma, when you're about to die, you can tell your body to heal itself and it can just bring itself back to the optimum health, the complete health. So, even so, what I think is life energy, Swamiji meant by this is, he meant by life energy in the sense that your body has all the energy it needs to live happily and blissfully without anything needed from outside to support it. But as you have been conditioned ever since the beginning, ever since we were small, that we need medicine, we need food, we need all that to live, we start forgetting that we have that life energy, and that becomes that it doesn't become available for us.
Adding to what Mangala Maharaj told, Swamiji told, you usually get some problem in you, like either you get stomach ache or headache, is just because you don't listen to that part of your body. So by doing dana, by doing dana, when you start listening to that part of body, it just responds. It just responds and it starts functioning. That's what I meant by life energy getting awakened in you.
And I have a question. Is life different from life energy?
Okay, what I think is no. For some person, life can be health. For some person, life can be wealth. But the life energy inside him is not the life itself. Life energy is something which makes you to function. So I don't think life energy and life is same.
I have a question from today's satsang. How can dana awaken the life energy inside you?
What I understand is, see, when for suppose if someone comes and asks you for food, they are hungry. Okay, so when you listen to that hunger in them and when you offer them food, obviously you'll listen to yourself, because listening first, you listen to yourself and then only you'll be able to listen to others. So when you listen to yourself, when you listen to that part of your body, then in that part the life energy will be awakened.
But when somebody is hungry and they come to you and ask for food, you only listen to their stomach. How do you listen to your stomach?
See, what I understand is, first, listening starts with yourself. Only when you start listening to yourself, you can even give your listening to others. This is what I understand.
Adding to her point, suppose you're not even listening to yourself, then there'll be so many thoughts coming in your mind, you won't even listen to what's happening around you. From experience, it's happened to me many times. Like, I'll be thinking about something and someone will be speaking. So basically, only if you listen to yourself, you'll be able to listen to others.
Now, so many thoughts are coming and you listen to yourself, you'll be busy looking at all your thoughts than listening to the other person. So when you listen to yourself, how can you listen to the other person?
See, what I understand is, Swami told listening leads to completion. So, when, as far as what I understand, thoughts are incompletion. So, when you start listening to yourself, that will itself get completion, and you'll not get thoughts. That time you will be able to listen to yourself, and then you'll be able to listen to the other person.
Can you explain what listening is?
What I understand as listening is understanding what life is trying to tell you and evolving yourself from the space of perception to fact, fact to truth, and truth to reality.
How do you listen to a part of you? Like you told, listen to your stomach. How do you listen to your stomach?
Is it like when you're hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, or something like that?
What I feel as listening to a part of you is completely focusing on that part of you. Like if your stomach is paining, you focus yourself on your stomach. So when you focus on it, you will understand that what you feel, what your stomach is feeling.
But I still don't understand how listening to your stomach can complete it. Because you were listening to it that it's paining, how do you know how to make that pain go away?
What I understand is, see, once you start, for example, your hand is paining, and once you start listening to that part and you start looking from where is the pain coming, and at one point you'll understand that there is no pain. As Swami says, pain is a lie. So when you understand that, obviously it will lead you to completion, and you'll feel there's nothing there, and you'll be complete with that part.
Adding to her point, once Swamiji told, pain is just unawareness. So when you focus on it and bring your complete awareness to it, you'll realize that the pain will go once you bring your awareness to it.
What do you mean by telling pain is unawareness?
I feel when some part of your body is paining, you give more awareness to it. So it only brings more awareness.
What I understand is, see, only once the pain comes, you start giving your awareness to it. But then maybe before that, you will be unaware that the pain starts coming. But after the pain come only, you'll realize, oh, it's paining, and you will give your awareness to it.
You're contradicting your own statement. See, like now you told pain brings awareness. Just before sometimes you told pain is unawareness.
Pain is unawareness. See, listen, pain is unawareness. Okay, so when you're unaware, pain comes. And then after that only, see, you realize that there's pain and you start becoming aware of that. Then once you become aware of that, your pain will go.
So is pain awareness or pain unawareness? Because to what you said, you are unaware before the pain comes. When the pain comes, you become aware.
What I understand is pain is unawareness, but once you start listening to it, it'll, you'll start becoming aware of it. But what I understand is pain is unawareness.
So are you saying when you're completely aware, even if you take a needle and poke yourself, the pain will not be there?
What I feel is if you're evolved with a cognition that there'll be no pain and pain is a lie, that time there'll be no pain and you'll be able to complete with your body and make sure that part heals.
See, if you take Swamiji's life, when he heard that the pain is a lie, there's no pain existing from Annamalai Swamigal. When he came and cut his thigh, he understood there is a pain. Then he came, no, pain is lie because he is the soul. But when implemented on the body, you still experience pain. Nah? Then what do you mean by you evolving to the cognition there is zero pain?
What I feel about this is, Swamiji said that when he tried it on the body, he thought it to be a technique, but it is actually a truth. Pain is a lie, is actually a truth. There is lots of difference between technique and the truth. So Swamiji told, the level with Annamalai Swamigal told was for the soul, which is the truth. But I want it to be the technique which he did it on his own body.
See, what I think is, it's just, like you said, it's just the body that has pain, right? So when you know that your soul is different from your body, you'll avoid experiencing any pain, right?
In this case, will you not experience pain in the physical body when you realize that soul is separate, body is separate? So even if something pokes you, won't you experience pain at that point?
What I think is you'll still experience pain, but it'll avoid being like what we all know as pain, like, oh, it hurts. It'll be a different, like, something to bring your awareness there.
I just adding one point. I just read one story about this. There's actually one sage who was really complete with his body. Okay, so once he was walking, and there was a king who called him. Okay, but the sage avoided to respond. He was continued to walk. Then the king got angry and cut one of his hand. But still, he was going on without any reaction or any reaction of pain, but still he was going. Then the king realized and he asked forgiveness. And when the sage took his hand and put it back, it just again became part of it. What I understand is that because by you being complete, that you are not the body, actually the soul, you will not experience pain.
Then in previous statement, just now Parameshwari told you will experience pain when someone pokes you. If you are not the body, then why are we going to experience pain?
See, your body might experience the pain, but your soul won't be affected by it. Your soul won't even bother about it. Like how she told in the story, the sage is not, even though there is pain in the body level, in his consciousness there's zero thing as pain. He never even perceived pain at that moment.
And Swamiji also told in one of the satsang, when you feel there's pain in your body, just tell your body that get back to your own space. It is not your real space. So when you get back, when you keep saying that, your body will automatically listen to you and it will get back to the same space where it avoids having any pain.
We just got to know that pain is unawareness. Okay, so if is unawareness and ignorance the same?
What I feel is you being you, the more you are unaware, it will lead you to ignorance. This is what I understand.
Just adding to a point, what I feel is like according to my experience, when I'm unaware, I don't even know what is happening around me. Like if I hit someone on accident, like by mistake, I don't know that I'm even hitting them. I'm just unaware of it. But when I'm ignorant, I feel that, like I'm consciously doing it. That, like, when I want to hit someone, even though it is from the space of ignorance, I'm doing it. Like I'm conscious about what I'm doing, but I still do it.
Ignorance is when you don't know something. Now you clearly understand that hitting someone is out of anger. So why will you even do it out of ignorance? It's more out of anger. How is that ignorance?
What I understand is, see, you know you're angry, but you'll be like, okay, who bothers? I am angry, and you'll hit that. You'll just ignore it. You'll know that you're angry, but you'll just ignore it.
Isn't that arrogance?
I'm not very clear about it, but what I understand is, the more you're unaware, it'll lead you to ignorance. This is what is my understanding.
Okay, I have a question. Today in the satsang, Swamiji said all fear is decision against life. But in the previous Vaakyaartha Sadhas, we came to the conclusion that we can complete STHD using fear. But isn't that a decision against life? So how can we use it for completion?
See, in those vacancies, we clearly told, see, like you yourself told, we are using fear from the right context. When you use it from the right context, how can it be like deciding against the life?
What I feel is it's in the context in which you use the fear. If fear comes out like in a good context of you expanding yourself, then it expands you. It's like for life.
I didn't understand, but Swami told fear is that he's saying no to life. Can you explain it clearly?
Just adding one point, Swami avoid to say that if you have fear in a right context, you will be deciding again for life, or if you avoid to have the right context, you will be deciding against life. He told all fears is deciding against life.
What I feel is at this point, fear and anger both are two energies which happen in us. Okay, so what I feel is when that energy is put in the wrong direction, like suppose what I feel is fear is basically just the adrenaline rush in our body. So suppose we confront a lion, we are walking and going, suddenly we confront a lion or a snake. So at that point, immediately for us to run away from that situation or whatever it is, that energy which comes up is what is that fear. But that itself is nothing wrong in it. If it's not that you stay there and then the lion comes and bites you and finishes you. No. At that point, that energy which you get to take decision and immediately decide for life, that energy is what I understand as fear. But when we use the word fear, I feel that is negatively attached to saying no to life. Like suppose we have to come up to speak in front of the stage. So there it comes where there is no fear. No one is going to come and bite you and eat you, or nothing is going to happen to you. But you unnecessarily get scared and then you said no to life. Oh, I cannot speak at this point and all that. But in the situation where there is a real need for you to run away and there is energy which comes in. So at that point when you say no, yes to life, at that point that energy is what I think is fear. So when we are speaking, I think that we are speaking in the context of fear from the context of saying no to life.
I have a question. See, if fear is our perception and which is out of our incompletions and patterns, how can it lead us to completion? Because the root is itself incompletion.
That is what Sundarshan has explained. There are two types of fear. See, you get like the energy which you get when lion or tiger chases you, and you use it for fear in the right direction is different. And you have a stage fear and speaking in front of people with a mic is a different fear. You putting in wrong direction. So when you use that energy in right direction, it is like You using the fear in the right direction is always coming from powerfulness. Using with the right context is only always from powerfulness.
But I'm still not clear about it because today in Satsang Swami told all types of fear is decision against life. Then what is there in like this, like the type what you told of stage fear and the type what you running away from tiger and lion?
See, if there is a context, right context and wrong context for fear, then what does Swami mean by all fear is deciding against life?
What I feel is, as I know, the fears that we know is only in the low level fears, like a stage fear, or just all those like fear of losing your identity or something like that. But what I feel is, so Swamiji addressed that fear.
Even Swami told one day in satsang, the fear is a root pattern of you. Then how do you mean right context and wrong context? We see it.
See, if you see in yesterday's satsang, Swami told in Vedic tradition, context is much more than God. See, how you use the fear in right context is like in one of the satsang, Swami told you using fear and greed to come out of SDHT is the right context. Means you are treating SDHT as a small child and you're putting fear and greed and you're coming out of it. That is from right context. And you having the fear you having stage fear and you having fear and you are not speaking in front of the group with in the mic you are doing from the wrong context. You are stopping yourself in that. So that is you are deciding from wrong context and this you are deciding from right context.
I have a doubt. Then what did Swami mean by fear and greed are your root patterns, the main root patterns?
What I feel is like the other day what Sundesham was told, in Vedic tradition, one word has so many meanings. It's not that fear has only one meaning. Because Swamiji has given light to fear in so many dimensions. We're just arguing about the dimension which he's speaking instead of getting the fact which he wants to convey through each one of those dimensions. So what I feel is we should look on the dimension which Swamiji told, not just debating on the dimensions which Swamiji expressed.
Adding to what Tattva Maharaj told, see, we run our whole life based on fear and greed instead of inspiration. That's what Swamiji meant by you using fear that fear and greed is from root pattern. That's what he meant. We run our whole life from fear and greed. We won't use inspiration as much as how we use fear and greed. So that's what Swamiji meant by fear and greed is our root pattern.
I have a doubt. What do you mean by right context and wrong context?
According to me, right context is you using anything for saying yes to life is right context, and when you use it for saying no to life, it is wrong context.
Okay, then I have a doubt. See, what I understand as fear is which comes from powerlessness, and right context can lead us to God. So how do you use fear in a right context? Won't it contradict?
See, for example, take when you're answering now the mic. First, you'll think whether I can answer. The fear will come whether I can answer or I cannot answer. The fear will come. You'll take the mic. You'll keep the mic. You'll have that fear. Then, when if you're not giving up, saying yes to your life. So fear, like context is not giving up. I will speak. Answer will come. Just it will come through me. If you give up, he's saying no to life from the wrong context.
I have a question. See, if not giving up will lead us to the space of completion, then we not giving up on our incompletion, will it also lead us to the space of completion?
It is you not giving up on income. You should avoid giving up on your incompletion means like you whenever incompletion comes, you stand up again and again. Only then it will lead you to only then it will lead you to completion. Otherwise, if incompletion comes, you're telling, okay, I'll not drop my incompletion. I'll hold on to it. That won't lead you to completion. Only when you stand up again and again when incompletion comes, that will only lead you to completion. Not giving up, not giving up on incompletion in this context in this way only lead you to completion.
I have a doubt. See, if we have a right context and like I'll take my example. For me, the right context is for living Advaita is so that I enrich myself and I enrich others. Now, if that also is my purpose of life, does it contradict?
Obviously, it won't contradict because in both sides you're saying yes to life.
I have a doubt. Is having a right context and a purpose same?
Only when you have a right context, you can even have a purpose.
What I feel is only when you have a purpose you can decide right context for it. Then how can it be like when you have a right context only you can have purpose?
Just adding to her question, and beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, Swamiji quotes that life has no purpose. Then, if in that case, then how can we have a purpose of life? Because life itself has no purpose.
Yes, what Swami told is correct. Life itself avoids having purpose. It is you are the one who are creating a purpose for it and putting and thinking that as your life. So natural life has no purpose. Only you are having purpose of it for life.
So is context and the purpose same?
What I feel is you should align all your context to the purpose of your life. See, it's like technique and truth. You should all the techniques are for experiencing the truth. So when you align all your context to the purpose, your life will be fulfilled.
But Swamiji told context is beyond God. Then what do you want? Why should you align to something? Why should you align all the context to something?
What I feel is that when we have a certain purpose, and if you see our basic everyday actions are, we have to align ourselves to the highest purpose. And at this point, having the best context is saying yes to life. And if you're saying yes to life, if you take that as a decision, what will be the right reason for doing such an action? To give an example, take us studying itself. Okay, so we are going to study. Ultimately, for me, my life is that we have to go become like Swamiji and experience the space of living Advaita and share it with the whole world. So that is my life. At this point, everyday action I do is studying. So in studying itself, using the right context, saying yes to life is the right context. So what is saying yes to life in study? For me is that whenever I study, doing it from the context that whatever I'm doing now is going to reflect when different people see, because the whole society is now based on who scores highest. So when I prove my marks are something very big, then there will be so many other people who will think, oh yes, Gurukul is something, yes, everyone is able to get such high marks, and I will be able to enrich so many more people to join Gurukul. So I feel in this point, saying yes to life is aligning my context to the purpose of my life.
So I have a question. Is it just saying, having a right context enough? Is that just saying yes to life, or does it matter like what you do also with that context? Okay, I'll put my question a little more clear. So is it like, is the context only thing that matters for you? Like Adinatha Maharaj said that the context, having a right context is basically saying yes to life, right? So is having a right context enough? Like, does that mean it always mattering that what you do with that context?
See, having a right context is setting the context which is aligned to the purpose of your life. So immediately when you align the context to the purpose of your life, you will say yes to life.
Now, for example, your purpose of your life is enriching. Now, so when you're starting your studies, you like bring in the context of why you're studying is for enriching the whole world. So when you bring the context which is aligned to your purpose and start studying, obviously by the time you finish studying, you'll be enriching the world.
I have one doubt. Even when Swamiji told, playfully wearing Mahadeva's mask, okay, it will lead you to Shivoham. Then where is the context in this? Just playfully wearing a mask of Mahadeva?
The example which you gave, wearing the mask of Mahadeva, at the moment you are deciding for life. So when you decide to wear the mask of Mahadeva, you are deciding for life.
And in your example, what I think is you already have a context in it. You know, if I playfully wear the mask, I will reach the space of Shiva. So that already you have set the context that even if I playfully wear the mask, I'm going to reach the space of Shiva. So there is a context in what you told.
See, what I understand God is being in the space of like Shiva. Okay, that is what I understand God and everything. So context for Shiva, for me to live Shivoham, is whenever whatever I do should be aligned to that. So how is context higher than God in this? Because you're going to the space of God. So how is context higher than God?
I feel that when you tell your purpose, when you think that Shiva is the ultimate, when you tell that, something which is leading you to that is what is, see, just telling I am Shiva is done, but you're not experiencing Shiva. So setting the right context is what is leading you to the space of Shiva. So I feel context is higher than God because it is only leading you to God.
I have a question. See, just deciding that I want to be Shiva will lead me to Shiva. Then why should I have a context for that?
When you decide for being Shiva, still the context is for being Shiva. So there's a context in what you said.
And also that whenever we use the word Shiva, we understand that he is the embodiment of space of completion and all that. So whenever we think that we are Shiva itself, already we understand that we are saying yes to life. We are avoiding to think we are Narakasura or we are Bhasmasura. We are thinking we are Shiva. So we know that Shiva is the space of completion. So the moment we say itself, we naturally understand that Shiva is the space of completion, which is the right context.
Okay, I have a question. Like when Parameshwari put her question, like if does the right context matter, or what we do about the right context also matters. So now my question is, when we have a right context and we do something for that right context, is that also deciding for life or deciding against life?
What I feel is both is deciding for life because both is like adding to each other.
Okay, what I feel is like just adding a point with Tattva Maharaj. See, when you have a context and you are deciding for a life, obviously whatever you are going to do, everything is going to be aligned to what you are going to have, right? Like the decision which you made, that this is going to be the life of mine. The action which you are going to do, everything is going to be aligned. You'll not do something else, right?
So the context we coming to earth itself is to be enlightened and to realize that we Mahadeva. Then our actions should always be aligned to that. Then why when we come we immediately get into incompletion and just go wander off somewhere else? Instead of being aligned to the context, like you told, when you have a context, your actions will immediately be aligned. Then why our actions won't be aligned to our context of realizing the ultimate when we come down?
What I think is, see, you naturally have that context and all your actions are aligned to that. But then later, see, any small SDHD also, what you do is you start giving power to that. And naturally you change, like, see, when, for example, your context is for you to become enlightened. And even if you see a small self-doubt that, can I become enlightened? You will be like, oh, yes, can I become enlightened? You start deviating yourself and you'll change your, like, your context is like, no, I cannot become enlightened. How will I become enlightened? You'll change your context. So that will deviate.
If my context is to become enlightened, how can I even allow that SDHD to enter into me?
What I think is, like, when your actual like purpose is to get enlightened and be like Shiva, but like when you come down, you sort of forget what you came down for because of all the SDHD and the societal conditionings, everything put in you, that you sort of get distracted from the purpose.
What I understand is, when you come down, you're so complete. When you're a baby, you're so complete. You feel that you're God in that space. Okay, you don't care, means you'll be so pure that you'll be enjoying everything, your life itself in your baby. But when you just start understanding that, oh, then when parents start putting condition on you, oh, you should avoid doing this, you should avoid doing that, all that, there only starts the problem. There only you start having SGHD, what I feel.
What I feel is babies are ignorant. So when you're ignorant, can you be in a space of completion?
See, what I feel is a child has a space of completion and there is also ignorance. But then when we add intelligence instead of ignorance, we become enlightened.
In the story of Prahalada, he was also born with completion, but he had a father who taught him all the ignorant things. He had a father who gave him societal conditioning. Even then, why did he have a high consciousness after that?
What I feel is he wanted that. He continuously decided for what he wanted. He avoided to get deviated from what he wanted by just listening to his father or others around him.
And moreover, see, he even when his father told like he abused his concept of God or whatever, he did not give the strength, or he did not accept to what his father told. He was very clear with what he wants and his context. He knew that his context was right, and he was very clear with that. He did not let whatever his father told affect him.
I have a doubt from what we spoke now. So, if we understand the right context of doing everything and then do things from the right context, will it lead us to the space where ignorance is wanting to be there?
Yes, what I feel is yes. And see, if I'll give you an example. Okay. So when I decide for life in each and every context. Even when, if any situation is presenting in front of me. For example, if somebody is scolding me, okay, even that moment I think Mahadeva has given me the situation, so I should learn from that. So I just feel Mahadeva is scolding me for me to transform me. So each and every problem happens for deciding for life. So when you decide for life, there'll be zero ignorance itself.
What I feel is when we have the right context, it will lead us to completion, because from there we get into a space where what we do is always right, and it will always expand us. So when we go in that space, it will obviously lead us to the space of completion.
I have a question. Now we all know we should decide for life. In that, what is life?
According to me, it depends from person to person. Life is just our perception. It can be wealth for someone. It can be just living Advaita for someone. It can be enriching for someone. It varies from person to person.
Just adding to what she told, see, life is, when you start deciding for life, life is something like, if you have wealth as a purpose of life, and when you are always deciding for life, it will evolve, it will take you from the level of perception to fact to truth, and truth to reality. So when you're always aligned to that purpose, it will lead you to reality, the ultimate space.
I just wanted to add a point. Swami told, whatever may happen, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. So we always, when you follow this, we will not fall into any ignorance.
With this, we come to the conclusion of today's Vaakyaartha Sadhas. We will continue exploring into the great truths of what Swamiji speaks in the further Vaakyaartha Sadhas.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sadguru Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam